Hi everyone, I'm currently in Nepal sitting amongst the most beautiful mountains in the world, the Himalayas. Now I'm 5,000 metres above sea level. Let's put that into perspective. If you tilt your heads back, look straight up in the sky, well I'm 5 kilometres above where you're currently sitting. Now up here, conditions extremely harsh, icy cold winds, 50% less oxygen and plenty of this snow. Now to make things interesting, I've travelled over here with 12 other Australians. They've had to endure different cultures, new foods, different languages, acute mountain sickness and cold conditions at night. So how did their bodies cope? Well, not that well in fact. We started with 13, we're now down to just 8. In fact, one lady had to be removed from the mountain in a helicopter. So why don't you sit back and enjoy our journey as we take you from Australia right through to Mount Everest Base Camp and find out how many of us actually make the journey. Well, here I am at the International Departure Gates because I'm awaiting the trip of a lifetime. You can hear kids crying in the background, families all hugging. I'm leaving Australia and I've already got the rugged mountain man look happening, 4 days growth, the backpack, because I'm so excited about going to Nepal where the highest mountain in the world is, the greatest mountain in the world, and that's Mount Everest. And I'm off to base camp with a fantastic group of people. So let's meet who I'm going with.
Hi, my name is Jim Donaghy. I'm 59 years of age and I'm the leader of the group.
Hi, I'm Imelda Casanova. I'm 45 years of age and I'm an advertising coordinator.
I'm Bernie, I'm 52, I'm a community worker.
I'm Yanni, I'm 27, I'm an architect.
Hi, I'm Bernie Morrison. I'm 53 years old and I export wine for Palestine State Wines in South Australia.
Hi, I'm Beck Henley, I'm 30 and I work for Blue Scope Steel.
Hi, I'm Emma McInerney, I'm 24 and I've just started a new position at the Miniput Ag Centre.
I'm Ros Rowett, I'm 58 and I'm a graphic designer.
Hi, I'm Carly Hempel, I'm a business analyst and I'm 26.
Hi, I'm Maria, I'm 44, I work for GHD as a planner. See ya.
Well, if you're wondering what the big cheesy grin is, it's because we are finally here after 18 or 19 hours in the air. There's a few tired people in this group, but we're in Kathmandu. And here's the Royal Palace right here. We've gone through the hustle and bustle of the city streets. I'm looking forward to a bit of a shop, but before we go any further, it's a big greeting in Nepalese from the whole group.
Namaste!
Have a look at this view. This is the Kathmandu Valley. We've all heard of Kathmandu, but this incorporates the entire population. 2 million Nepalese reside here. It is an absolutely amazing city. We flew in yesterday, spent about 18 hours in the air, didn't get any sleep, but I woke up this morning and have spent the entire day through the hustle, the bustle, the beauty, the religion, the culture that is Kathmandu. Let's check out exactly what this great city has to offer. A stroll around Kathmandu will lead the casual wanderer to many intriguing sights, especially in the crowded maze of streets, courtyards and alleys in the market area north of Durbar Square. Nepal represents a culture far older than Western culture, but you're not visiting a museum. Rather, you're visiting a country that is vibrantly alive. The more you listen and observe, the more you'll learn and the more people will accept you. Many travellers drawn to Nepal by the promise of adventure leave equally bewitched by the friendliness and openness of the Nepali people.
You have smile?
Well, tomorrow morning we get on a charter flight. It's just a short time in the air and then we've got the trekking boots on and we're off on our Himalayan adventure. Are we excited? Yeah!
Well, I'm really looking forward to getting on a Yeti. It's the first time for everything.
I'm absolutely petrified.
This is first class up the front of Yeti Airlines. If you can just see where the knee meets the wall. In the lead up to this infamous flight from Kathmandu to Lukla, just getting ready. We had heard many stories regarding how scary this journey could be. The group was excited and maybe just a little fearful of all the rumours surrounding this 1 hour voyage into the mountains. Many trekkers venture into the Himalayas to begin their hike, and often the flight to Lukla is the start of an unforgettable experience. We encountered strong winds, air sickness and sharp drops in altitude. Yet all of this was soon dismissed as we marvelled at our first glimpse of Himalayan beauty. Sure, the flight may have been a bit intimidating, but now it was time to land. High on the side of a mountain, the Lukla landing strip is built on a slant, so there is an elevation difference of about 60 metres between the ends of the runway. Our plane swooped down the mountain valley, and it was at this stage that everyone on board feared the worst. And when you get a look at where the planes land, it's not hard to see why. The flight approach path is totally visual, but there are no control towers to guide the pilots in. Much to our delight, we land safely. We disembarked the Yeti Airlines charter flight a little green around the gills.
Oh no.
I'm walking back. Watching the altitude drop about 1,000 metres in 5 seconds, yeah, that was pretty hairy. And watching all the dials go. It was definitely a hairy experience for sure.
Our porters set about preparing our duffel bags. Porters are all experienced trekkers and make their living from assisting foreigners on the journey up the mountain. We set off on our first day's trekking at a gentle pace. The track heads steadily down toward the valley below and leads us to our first interesting challenge. Trekking in Nepal will take you through a country that has captured the imagination of mountaineers and explorers for more than 100 years. In between surveying the countryside, I take some time to get to know one of our friendly Nepali guides.
Troy.
Oh, close. Troy.
Troy.
Yes.
Troy.
Icy winds and river dampness make Phak Ding a particularly chilly spot. Time to rug up and be entertained by our guides. Now we're about to start our second day on the trek towards base camp of Everest. And have a look at Maris here, my good old mate. He's a porter and he's super strong. Now I'm struggling to carry my own 10 kilogram day pack. This is what he lugs up, inclines like that, all day, every day for our entire 17-day journey. Show me how you do it. And he makes it look easy. This hurts. Ah, right. Do you think I should have a go? All right. Over here, Maris, please. I will try. I will try. And you have to carry me down if I snap my back, okay? Oh, gosh. my neck's nearly gone down into my bottom. Holy moly. Oh, that's better. Hey. This is what these guys carry. I think I'd last about 10 metres. My gosh. Where are you? My neck! I've just lost about 4 inches in height. Once the porters stopped laughing at me, it was time to prepare my day pack and set off with a group on a long day's trekking. Namche Bazaar, here we come. Our day packs weigh about 10 kilograms and most of this weight is in water. In fact, they recommend you drink about 6 litres of water every day to prevent sickness at this altitude.
Oh, that's seriously awful. Thank you.
Yeah. What were you feeling when you were walking
Oh,
across?
my stomach was going. Oh, and my heart was going. And I tried to close my eyes.
Much to our disappointment, it was at this stage that we had to say goodbye to both Jim and Imelda.
What these people will experience, it'll be an experience of their lifetime. It'll be inspirational. They'll come back knowing that they've achieved something significantly different from themselves and definitely something significantly good for Sandacare. Goodbye, goodbye to you. And may the Mother Goddess of the mountain, Sagamata, be with you all. Safe journey. See you later.
Have a great time.
Have a great time.
See ya.
Our group had now grown smaller by 2. We were all sad to see Jim and Imelda go. However, we guaranteed them both that we would carry their spirit with us for the remainder of the expedition. Being from Adelaide, we don't often get the chance to see snow, and one of our group, Rebecca, had never seen snow before. Can you believe it's snowing and I'm sweating? Puts it into perspective really, it's a pretty hard trudge up there. Our trek towards Mount Everest soon became tougher as the trail we are following gets significantly steeper. Light snow continued to fall for most of the day, and although it made for a beautiful setting, this part of the trek was definitely the most confronting of the journey so far. Now, I didn't mention it earlier, but like Rebecca, this was the first time I had ever seen snow falling. So I took the opportunity to sit back and soak up this unforgettable experience. That is the end of a big day's walk, day 2. It's been snowing for most of the day, so the temperature has dropped a little bit. Oh, bit of fog coming out of the mouth, that's always a good indication. But that journey, the last probably about hour and a half, was completely uphill. So I know that plenty of the group are going straight in because there's a rumour that a hot shower does exist at one of the tea houses, so if they find it, that's great. But I'm standing out here talking to the camera, so I might want to get in there and find it myself. Namche Bazaar! Following a restless night's sleep, our group rose nice and early to attend the famous Saturday Namche markets. Sherpas from all the surrounding villages come to buy and sell goods and socialise. How much are these? Are these turnips?
3 bottles for 200. 3 bottles, 200.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Nepalese pepper, homemade. Straight under the tongue first thing in the morning. Doesn't go too well with porridge.
Mount Everest whiskey, made from the freshest Himalayan waters. You can put this in car and drive car. Yes?
This is called venturing into the great unknown. I've officially been handed something that looks a lot like chalk, and they're all laughing prior to me actually tasting. If I cry, please don't laugh. Well, it's not hot, but it tastes like dried mud.
At 3,420 metres, acclimatisation is important before proceeding any higher, although for one member of the group, altitude sickness has already struck.
Well, when we got in here, got into Numshire, I felt pretty good, and then when we went and had a little walk further up, I just started feeling some nausea and really bad headache, and it just came on really quickly, and felt lightheaded, like I was going to pass out when we got further up, and then just felt that all night. And then last night in bed, I just felt really crook, really sick.
And what are your thoughts about the possibilities of making base camp?
Well, I want to. I had a cry last night because I thought, oh God, I'm not going to get there with this. But I'll just keep trying as well.
Now that is a long way down. Today we climbed to almost 4,000 metres, and if I look a little bit excited and there's a smile on my face, that's because we get to see Mount Everest today for the very first time.
It's some of like have some mild headache and sort of like a small problem, but forget it, they can recover soon. We wish for the good luck. And rest of the people now I'm watching with all those 6 ladies and gentlemen. Now we are heading up to the Shangboche to watch the Mount Everest views, which is we keen to see that.
The scenery, you just couldn't describe it. It's just amazing. I mean, even in the camera, it's not going to portray how beautiful this countryside is. I mean, you're never going to get it unless you come here. And the people are just so beautiful. I mean, I guess you get to see part of it, but you don't get the feeling that you actually get when you're around the people
I'm learning how to communicate with the young Nepalese. Namaste.
Super gorgeous.
As we round a sharp corner, there it was, the top of the world.
As you can see, a little bit happy. This is our first glimpse of Mount Everest. Your beauty. Now let's do the Nepalese tradition. Is when you see Everest for the first time, you blow her a kiss and you salute. Everest, we salute you. Come on, guys.
It's hard to put it in words because I'm not a linguist. I'm not a literary giant, but I just think I just think people should get up their ass and come up and experience them themselves, basically, because you can't put it into words. It's just fantastic. It's just awe-inspiring, and it's just beautiful.
It's very inspiring. Yeah, it's well worth having been sick yesterday and recovering, and then getting this. It's just incredible. It's magical. I can't believe I'm here.
As we were looking at Mount Everest, I asked Maria what would her family think of this.
It's really emotional because they knew that I'd been wanting to do this for many, many, many years, and my dad would have loved to have done this, and he's here with me in spirit. This is just awesome. Yeah.
just taken a little bit of time out in one of the rooms in the lodges, and a bit disappointed actually, because my headache, which was slight at the start of the day, is it's grown in strength. And if I try and describe what it's like, it's actually wrapping right around my head, and it feels like I just need to remove the top part of my head and somehow fish this damn headache out. But just had a chat with our guide, Davy, and asked him whether I need to be careful of altitude sickness, whether Dimox is required, which is a medication to help combat the effects of altitude sickness. You know, for somewhere like Australia, which doesn't have peaks anywhere near this, we're not used to it. And as fit as I believe I am, it's amazing how it can really knock you around. So I'll maintain the smile, but I think a little bit of a temple massage and some sleep perhaps may be in store.
Ah.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Ros, it's been quite tough the last couple of days. Can you explain to us how you felt?
Oh, yesterday was a really tough day. I felt so crook. I've got glaucoma, and the pressure on my eyes, if I go up any further, could cause me to go blind. So I knew I could only go up so far, and I've gone up a bit further than they told me I could go. I'm really sad to leave, but I've achieved what I wanted to. I came up and I saw Everest. I'm twice the age of most of the people on the trek. I'm sorry to leave, Bernie.
I knew that we were going to be separated, but I didn't know it'd be like this.
When we go back, people won't understand what it was like up here. The mountains are so big and they're so far above you, and then you look down and the villages are so far below you. It's just big.
Soon after saying goodbye to Ros, her health declined dramatically. In fact, she became so ill a helicopter had to be called in to evacuate Ros from the mountain. It's impossible to explain the discomfort of high altitude to someone who hasn't experienced it, but as less oxygen reaches the muscles and the brain, the heart and lungs compensate by working harder, which can result in acute mountain sickness or altitude sickness. There is no hard and fast rule as to who this sickness may strike or what is too high. Problems are more likely to occur as a result of ascending too fast and a lack of acclimatisation. On this occasion, it was good news. Ros would be okay. Yaks carry supplies for the Nepali people and for the trekking trade. Stay out of their way. They look gentle enough as they meander along, kind of like a herd of cows, but yaks can have nasty dispositions. They've been known to severely hurt people and, according to statistics, cause several deaths a year. Now, the trail that leads to Everest is not very wide, which becomes even more evident when you have to share your path with a never-ending procession of yaks. They won't be a drama for you as long as you use common sense. Yaks are all-purpose animals. In addition to their role as load carriers, their wool is woven into blankets and ropes. Dung is burned as fuel, and female yaks give high-quality milk. Once the yaks pass, our group regains composure and we continue our trek. Today, it's all been downhill for a couple of hours. Now that may sound nice and easy, but the one thing about the Himalayas is the further you go down, the further you must go up. So once we cross this valley, Tengboche is that way. Nice and steep. Three Himalayan tars come scurrying down the mountainside to say hello. Tahr are similar to mountain goats and are quite visible in Gokyo and on the high track from Kumjung to Pangbache. The tahr handles the steep rocky terrain with ease, unlike me, who continued to slowly move up the mountain towards Pangbache. Rolling fog and a drop in temperature combine to test the mental and physical stamina of each group member. Perhaps it's the Himalayas' way of saying proceed with caution. Pangbache is the religious centre of the whole Sherpa land. We offload our backpacks, hop into some warm clothing and meet in the mills area of our accommodation to sip on hot lemon tea and chat about the journey so far. I reckon the most common question was, how much further until we reach Mount Everest base camp?
Now this is a cameraman's dream. I got up nice and early this morning, about 5:30 a.m, to trek about 50 metres above the village of Pangbache. Now in Pangbache there's a Buddhist monastery that is the highest of its kind in the world. It sits almost 4,000 metres above sea level. So not only do I get to see the sun rise over this majestic village, but I get to wake up to the chants of the Buddhist monks. And there's one more bonus. I see the sun rise over Mount Everest and the rest of the Himalayan mountains. More photographs.
Well, that was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. They do not allow cameras into a peaceful place like this. I'm a little bit overcome because this is where the monks twice a day pray. They do it at 6:30 in the morning and 3:30 p.m. Now we were lucky enough to get in the afternoon. We're just speaking with the head monk and he was the one that led the prayers. He allowed us to come in. We made a small donation to the monastery and it was just amazing. They're such beautiful, peaceful people, and to be inside a monastery that A is 100 years old and B is the highest of its kind in the entire world was just the chance of a lifetime. I've got goosebumps.
Bernie, what happened last night?
Oh boy, I vomited. I was running to the toilet. Not good. I'm on double gastrolite today though and I'm going to soldier on. But in the night when I heard that helicopter, I was sure they were coming to get me.
And what are your thoughts on the rest of the journey?
Pretty good, pretty awesome. I just can't get over how big the whole thing is and I just really want to get there now.
It's been tough. Had a couple of ordinary days. Felt a bit poorly last night and we're only halfway there, they tell me.
About 3 o'clock every morning I'll be like, no, I'm not going to make it, I just want to go home. But then I get up and like now the sun's out and it's a really nice day and I feel a lot better. So yeah, day by day, slowly catch the monkey, as Jim would say.
Unfortunately, we had to leave a further 2 members of the group back at Tengboche. Kylie and Nathan succumbed to the effects of altitude sickness and had to return to Kathmandu. Our original group of 13 is now down to just 8.
Yeah, obviously we've got a few things to contend with. It's going to get lower in oxygen as we get higher, and we're going to have troubles perhaps with Glacier or whatever else that comes along, but I'm pretty confident that we'll get there regardless of those sorts of issues.
As a group, there's some people that you wouldn't normally hang around with, but because you're a group and you're doing this together and trying to pull each other through, you find you do gel, and the barriers are broken down pretty quick. I think it's been good.
Whew. Now this is all part of the acclimatisation process. We're staying in Tengboche tonight, which is about 3,920 metres. We climb high and we sleep low, so we offload our packs and we climb up to about 4,000 metres, which is roughly about 80, 100 metres above where we're staying, and we try and acclimatise up here for a while, and that'll help us in the days to come as we actually get higher in altitude. The reason we do this is to prevent altitude sickness, so we don't get a little bit sick from climbing too high too fast. I'll tell you what, I'm puffing from this small walk. We're up at a school here at 4,000 metres. If you want to know a great way to keep fit, well, how about a big game of volleyball with about a third less oxygen in the air?
At 3,920 metres, Tengboche is the highest year-round settlement in the valley. And even at this height, can you believe the local children have this much energy?
These guys are amazing.
Walking up the mountain, I have to remind myself to stop, look up, look down, look around, take it all in, because I don't think I'll be coming back here again.
Prayer flags and prayer rocks are found at regular intervals along the trail. The people of this region are deeply religious. This area is referred to as Sagamartha by the locals and is a very sacred place.
Well, our plans have changed a little bit. We're in Tengboche, and today we're meant to spend an acclimatisation day because we're at such an altitude. But I don't know if you can see it, but there's some slight snow falling. Got down to about -10 last night, so I'm fully rugged up, which means that because of the inclement weather, we're going to leave today and walk half the distance towards Glacier. We'll stop overnight at a little place called Tukla, which is about a 3-hour hike. We'll stay there and then it's on to Glacier after that. This weather, rug up.
Plummeting temperatures overnight have turned the early stages of today's trek into a hard slog over icy trails. It's snowing and the group has rugged up in preparation for a chilly day's walking. We would have to trek via Glacier and Gorikshep. However, excitement within the group grows dramatically as realisation sets in that we are more than halfway towards reaching base camp. Everest, here we come.
Well, we really haven't climbed that far, but I'm a little bit out of breath and it's cold, as you could see by the rest of the group that walked in the foreground. They're all rugged up. They're trying to battle the conditions. Speaking of which, it's funny, the environmental changes we go through. You have dust and you have snow. Now, this morning when we got up and started moving, it was snowing. Now, we're in this valley about 4,500 metres above sea level. It's remote, it's barren, and it's back to dust. So we cover up.
About an hour later, we arrive at Dugla, which is also referred to as Tukla. Tonight's accommodation is at the Yak Lodge Tea House. As night falls, the group huddles together inside in preparation for our nightly ritual of playing cards, a game we nicknamed Chodal.
Okie dokie.
Everyone playing?
hand. Pass, long pass. Double five. Double.
I am freezing. I have thermals on. I have a sleeping bag that apparently is meant to keep you warm in sub-zero temperatures. I think I've got about 6 minutes sleep in total, and I've been in bed about 9 hours. And I'm too scared to actually remove myself from this cocoon. Oh, gosh.
Well, without doubt, the village of Tukla will be etched in my mind forever because it's officially the coldest place in the world. Well, I could be exaggerating just a little bit, but it is the coldest place I've ever spent a night. That's bound to happen because the higher we get, the less oxygen and the more snow. Now today we head from here, Tukla, straight up towards 5,000 metres to the village of Lobuche. So in the backpack, plenty more jumpers. I'm ready for the cold.
Today's trek started with the steepest ascent to date. The trail to Lobuche led us straight up a sheer rocky slope, and a couple of long, lung-busting hours later, this tired bunch of Aussie trekkers arrived at the top of the hill for a well-deserved short break. This area is known as Memorial Hill, or Chukpalara. Here we find monuments dedicated to climbers, mostly Sherpas, who perished while climbing Mount Everest. I found this environment to be somewhat eerie. After all, it puts into perspective what a challenging and dangerous task it is to summit the world's highest mountain. After paying my respects to the fallen, I left Memorial Hill stronger for the experience. By this stage of our journey, frequent stops become essential for the majestic beauty of the massive snow-covered Himalayan peaks, and we get to catch our breath. At this altitude, we have 50% less oxygen in the air than at sea level, which makes the going very tough. 3 hours later, we reach Lobuche.
We're on our way.
Once again, it's up bright and early to begin today's leg from Lobuche to Glacier. We now find ourselves just a couple of days from Everest and in the thick of the Himalayan range. The trek will take about 3 hours with a 250-metre ascent. We are dwarfed by the sheer magnitude of the surrounding mountains. The first section of the trail follows the western side of the broad Khumbu Valley and ascends gently through meadows beside the glacial moraine. The ascent then becomes steeper and rougher, and the track is quite hard to find. At this altitude, the group was moving at a very slow pace. From the remaining members, just 2 of the group felt okay. The rest of us were suffering in various degrees from altitude sickness. With base camp only a day away, nobody wanted to risk falling seriously ill and not making it to our target destination, the base of Mount Everest. The group has a restless night's sleep at Glacier. In fact, getting a good night's sleep at this altitude is very difficult. Most of the group felt quite sick. In our normal environment, we would all be in bed if we felt this ill. However, we had a mission to complete. Despite our poor health, the group battled on towards Everest.
I wonder if these yaks are doing it as hard as our group. It's not really much of an incline on this journey, but the track itself is actually full of boulders and pebbles, and if you're not careful and you're not looking down, you can trip. So all of these babies are costing me a great view of not only Mount Everest, but also Mount Everest Base Camp. Base Camp's only about another hour's trekking from here, and it's easy to get to because from Lobichet, all you have to do is follow the Khumbu Glacier all the way to the end, and that's where you'll find Base Camp.
Being able to see Base Camp from a few k's away, I thought it was going to be a walk in the park, but it's actually the hardest day yet. Well, right now the wind's blowing right through me, and I'm freezing. My hands are freezing, my face is freezing, and I haven't been able to feel my nose for about 2 days. But I think that's all part of the experience. So you've got to expect it being in 5,500 metres up above sea level.
Well, here we are. We've arrived at Mount Everest Base Camp. So, how was everyone feeling?
I've wanted to do this for a long time, but it's been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. It's right up there with childbirth. In fact, I think it surpasses it. I'm pretty overwhelmed, actually. Got here and hated the place because it was so cruel and so hard. And then you get to appreciate what people go through when they do arrive and are actually going to summit from here.
Hours. The route followed the Khumbu Glacier, and sometimes we had to walk on the glacier itself. Now, Nepal may be a small country, but when it comes to height, it is #1 in the world. Nepal is the home of Mount Everest, the world's highest point. And here we were, in the shadows of this famous landmark. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unreal just looking around at the mountains now. I've never seen anything like this in my life before. I probably never will again.
I've done it and I'm over 50 and I'm proud of myself. Can't quite believe that I'm here, but I'm just so glad I made it.
I just still feel pretty energetic, and I just think, life's short and you don't want to spend all your life sitting in an office or factory. You've got to get out and experience things, and I just felt like I wanted a challenge and just to extend myself, and that's why I did it. And I think everyone can find something in life to do that, for sure.
Yes, it's for charity, but it was a personal challenge as well. So just to see if I could do it, to see if you can push your body to that next level. And I've done this, so you kind of feel like you can do anything after this.
You feel like when you come in here, you feel like a paradise. You are in heaven, sitting in front of the Everest, the bottom of the Everest. Nothing would expect is more than that.
Our goal at the start of this adventure was to complete the journey from Australia to Mount Everest Base Camp. Well, we achieved this goal in style. And now it was time to remove our hiking boots, put down the walking poles and take a well-earned rest. Our mission was complete, or so we thought.
Now, I bet you thought this amazing adventure was over. Well, not quite. Yesterday I had a chat with a few of the locals, and the Sherpa said to me, you must not leave Nepal until you've climbed Kalapatar. So here I am, 3 long and weary hours later, struggling for breath, and little wonder, we are 5,550 metres above sea level. The great thing about Kalapatar is you get to see the sunset on Mount Everest. It's just an amazing place. Nepal is a land of ancient history, colourful people and cultures, and some of the best trekking on this planet. I'm literally on top of the world.
Highlights, I guess scenically, was definitely Kalapatar and watching the sunset over Everest and my first view of Everest from the Panorama View Hotel was probably, I'd rate it as one of the best days of my life, really.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that the people were a highlight too, because everywhere you went, they were happy. Like, you'd smile and they'd smile back, and it was just a big medal, because you don't expect it. You don't expect such a friendly culture.
I think my favourite thing was actually being invited into the Nepalese camp at base camp. Everest is all about.
The food was fantastic. I didn't expect the food to be as good as it was. I thought, I'd lose 2 dress sizes or something, but I don't think I have, because the food was just amazing.
Yeah, it would have to be pretty well number one, I think. I don't think there's anything I've done that's topped this one.
I don't know, it puts a lot of things into perspective. It's a very humbling experience, and it's just incredible. The people, the scenery, it's just great, and if you get a chance, do it.
So my advice to anyone coming to this beautiful country is, sure, do all your walking, do all your running, have all your medication, but from the shoulders up, upstairs, be prepared and be strong. And make sure that at the end of it all, you say, I made it, and I had the best time ever.
Oh.